say be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. I wanted Rodgers to go to the Jets because I want my Dolphins to take this division if they do indeed take it this year, facing the best of the best, so they can, at the end of the season, scream, we've earned it, get this ugly, dysfunctional monkey off our back, 100%. But I'm telling you, I hear some crazy stuff. You can see, I mentioned this in my prior podcast, from dead spin or dead above the neck spin. The worst is the villain. In this case, Aaron Rodgers getting away with it. I didn't even bother reading the article because I've tried to read them in the past and I felt like my IQ's diminished. Guy ain't a villain. There's people out there doing bad stuff all around. It's just foolishness talk from a foolish, totally waste of space. Sports coverage, dead spin. Rodgers is going to be really good for the Jets. If there's one factor that it was always, no matter what, it's going to be improvement for this roster. But the real deal delivery of a very long-suffering fan base will only come to full realization with Rodgers if they, and you probably know if you're a Jets fan, get this offensive line out of neutral. And they have the ammo. You can see right here, Aaron Rodgers, they send Rodgers and the 15th overall pick to the Jets for the 13th 2023 second round pick, 42 overall, six round pick, 207, a conditional 2024 second round pick that becomes a first if Rodgers plays 65%. So they're going to have the 15th overall pick and then that second round pick in the third round, the rest of their complement. So they can add at least two good players, and clearly one of them has to be an offensive lineman. Now, I'm going to dig into the offensive line, dig into Rodgers going to the Jets, how this is a really, really good deal if they resolve this offensive line and Rodgers plays for more than a season and plays to what his capacity is. You watch him play last year, he played well. He had lots of mitigating circumstances with injuries on his body, with the beat-up offensive line. Again, that ties into the Jets needing to get their act together with this offensive line, which they can indeed do. And you see the Vegas Wonder people who make odds for a living, and they lose money. They don't, not like, me and yellow voices like Deadspin or whoever just saying whatever. We could say whatever and just pretend like it didn't happen. These guys lose big money. And they said Jets have plus 225 to win a division, which is 75 more than the Jets, but not clearly even close to the Bills, who are 130. So the money guys who get screwed hard, if they're wrong, are saying this is it. Now, this doesn't mean that the Jets are the second best team, but it clearly means that they view Rodgers as a big deal, and he is. This AFC East is going to be a meat grinder. It's going to be amazing football. Somebody's going to be very unhappy in fourth place. I think, the Patriots, they get there, it's going to be disaster, but it'd be the least ugly for them, but still very ugly. But for the Bills, the Jets, the Dolphins, and fourth, it is ultimate disaster. But I do think it could be disaster for the Patriots anyway, because Bill might get the caniche, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to cover the Jets here, the offensive line, where it's at, what they need to do to fix it, how Rodgers plays out in the cap, which is not terrible at all. Jets are in a real good spot, guys, but it's going to come down to this offensive line. It's going to come down to, does Rodgers play for more than one season? So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all you do. You're the best. I want to give you a shout out. Shout out to AcePerhead, my sponsor, because without the two of you, this show ain't going down. AcePerhead's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. Favre was Favre. He always threw tons of picks, and that really killed him when he came to the Jets. Jets defense did not deliver. To really compare Rodgers with the Jets team today and Favre with the Jets team all the way back then, whatever it was, I can't remember now. It's lost in the space and the sauce, is absurd. It's apples and oranges or apples and pears. Totally, totally different. Favre is a much different player than Rodgers. He was a gambler. I mean, Favre was unbelievable, but he's total gambler. Rodgers is much better than where Favre was in those last couple of years, and not the kind of player. And his defense is totally different. Much better team with the Jets and much better quarterback at this phase of their career than Favre. Remember all those picks in the Minnesota game with Mr. Favre-ish? All right, you can see in this over-the-cap little thing here, the Jets aren't tied into big money with Rodgers. They can get out from underneath him pretty easily in about 2 years. Even next year, they could get 17 savings and 14 loss. They're not hog-tied into his contract. Now, he will be paying plenty of money. When he turns 43, he'll be making 45. But I don't see him going that far. I see it maybe 23, 24, maybe 25 at best. But I see this year and next year as the key years for them. But you could see that no matter what, the Jets as a team, they have 31 signed next year with 51 cap space. And then the following year, they got 144 with 20 total. So they're not in terrible situation. Next year, they have plenty of money to keep Rodgers and keep going with this design that they have by adding some more players and signing some more players. There's plenty of stuff they can do. They got plenty of young guys they've been hitting on. So he's not a detriment to their framework, to their window for a long time, if any. Really, the only thing is his age. Can he stay healthy? This guy keeps playing well for the next 2 or 3 seasons. They can keep going with him and see what happens. Now, Connor McGovern was just signed to the Jets, and I thought that was a good bring back. I figured he was definitely coming back, and that helps in a key way. You could see here what it looks like for the Jets' offensive line, and that's a big deal for Rodgers, for the Jets, for what they can achieve. To me, the offensive line, the depth and starting talent, it's going to be critical for all 4 of these AFC East teams. You saw last year what happened when the offensive line broke down with both the Bills and with the Patriots and with the Jets and with the Dolphins. And this offensive line is going to determine, because last year you could see Rodgers still could play, but he's not exactly what he was. He's close, but his offensive line had problems. He had issues at receiver, got beat up, and he wasn't really able to deliver. Now, this offensive line with McGovern in there, he's a quality center. He has some issues. Some people say last year he wasn't so good, but he was playing around a lot of flux, a lot of different guys, and I think that this year is going to be quite different. Verituk, if he could stay healthy, is an amazing signing. This guy is a top player. He was able to play tackle and guard at a high level, then got injured, but he's going to be playing guard. And then, Becton, can he finally step up? Tomlinson, he was good in the pass blocking, but he struggled in the run game. So this guy was much better, Tomlinson. Becton has potential. He's 23, 24. The Jets are going to have the capital in the draft to get a guy in here. Not necessarily do you want a guy to start who's a rookie with an older quarterback that you're playing a ton for, but it does bring option. It does bring depth. And Mitchell, he was picked, and he wasn't good, but being an offensive line takes some time, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays out. But I want you to look over here. Dwayne Brown was a little overlooked. The guy's arm was wrecked early. He was playing with one arm. Last year, he was 69th out of 81, which is better than some young tackles out there. He had a solid pass blocking grade. It was terrible in the run blocking. But his overall was 57. But if you go look back at his history, you can see he played much better when he's healthy. Now, can he stay healthy? I don't know. He's on the team. They're not going to get rid of him because of the contract. But this guy has great depth and a good starting option to fit in over Mitchell if Becton can stay healthy. If not, you can move him there. You got Becton, what happens with him. And then you got Verituk, who can slide out Does Mitchell grow, and what do you do in this draft? And maybe you can get some growth out of some of these under guys, which I don't really think so. I think your main hopes are going to be Brown, Becton, and Mitchell, and this pick. And the good tackles could be gone at 15. That move 2 spots back, it could cost you that offensive lineman. Bakari, whatever the heck the guy's name is, he's older. He had some talk about Rodgers going, and they might want to move off him. He's 32. He's had some injury issues. So they might go offensive lineman to kind of help back up Love, and that might put you in a lurch. But there's other guys you can get. You can maybe trade back and get yourself some picks. But you're definitely going to need to add some help on this offensive line. Again, Veritucka is a guy who could possibly swing out. Brown's another guy, and maybe Mitchell. So maybe you get a guy that's a guard. But this offensive line situation, it's not disastrous. Has potential to be good. Has potential for both starting talent and depth. And that's what Rodgers is going to need. If he can get that, he can get the balance in the run game. He can get the pass game. You got Wilson. You got some good guys out there who can catch the football. Maybe find yourself a good tight end, a pass-catching tight end to go with Conklin and the dude from the Bengals. I can't remember his name right now. And this unit could be good enough to give Rodgers the time, to give him the tools. And if you do, it's going to be a good time for the Jets. Will it be good enough to beat the Bills, Miami, and the Patriots, all 4 very tough teams? I don't know. That's going to be the interesting question. But the offensive line's there. Rodgers still can play, and he's the second best quarterback in this division, and maybe first, depending on what happens with Allen. I mean, Allen is obviously the most dynamic and unbelievable, but that consistency level, that experience, Rodgers clearly has that, and he's still playing at a time. He was MVP 2 seasons ago. So this is going to be interesting, guys. Congratulations, Jets fans. Don't listen to anybody tell you he's not going to be good. This is not Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, I thought, was going to do all right with the Colts last year. And he did, but everybody else failed. He's not carrying. Rodgers still has carry in him, still has greatness in him, but he's going to need some help. So it'll be very interesting. Jets fans, Bills fans, Patriots fans, and Dolphins fans. It's going to be a dogfight, and this has made it ultra interesting. So anyway, Curtis saying, catch you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Please give some those likes, the comments, and the subscribes, and all that stuff. It helps us keep going. I appreciate it. All you guys do. Catch you next time. Be well. I got to say, go Fins. Gotta go Fins. Building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.